Welcome to Jersey Boy Reviews. We're finally back. I'm here with my two co-hosts, Jose and Luis. We're finally here. We're going to talk about Star Wars The Force Awakens. So, let's get this shit started. We're going to talk the shit out of it. So, this is a major spoiler discussion. It's going to go a little long. Probably going to go like 35, 40 minutes or so. What do you guys think?
About. Maybe it'll be longer, but we're trying to keep it short.
All right, we're gonna try and keep it short, but we got a lot to talk about, man. A lot to talk about.
If you haven't seen it, get out right now. Come back later. Yeah. Save the video. Go see the movie. Come back later. Listen to us rant about it, and then go watch it again.
Because you're up to your third time watching it. Right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm still up to my number one. I think Lou's already up to number two. Yeah, I gotta catch up. All right, guys. So let's get started on it. Let's talk about Captain Phasma, bro. Captain Phasma to me was a huge disappointment because she had a lot of freaking little toys come out here and there. She looked cool as hell. She was in the collective, let's say 5 minutes of the whole entire movie, and it was such a huge letdown. Captain Phasma, no bueno. I didn't like Captain Phasma at all. I don't know about you guys. Did you guys like Captain Phasma?
As far as the look goes of Captain Phasma, the look was amazing. You haven't seen the Chrome Trooper, also known as, but I mean they kind of fixed it. They said that in episode 8 we're gonna see a lot more of her than we did in episode 7, which makes sense because the movie was already jam packed with so many actors and so many characters. We had all the new characters we had to learn about. Mm-hmm. Would you really want to sacrifice 10-15 minutes just to get to know Captain Phasma more? Or would you have rather gotten to see 10-15 minutes more of Rey or of Kylo Ren, Poe Dameron, you know what I mean? So it all makes sense, we it's a whole trilogy, so we have enough time to see where her character is coming from.
But I think since they introduced Captain Phasma, they should have at least given her like an extra 5 more minutes just to like to me, she wasn't even menacing at all, like whatsoever. She was just a throwaway character.
But you're still thinking.
I mean, I'm happy because they didn't kill her off. They didn't kill anyone off. So
they put her in a trash.
We're gonna get more of the characters.
They did the same
that's what you gotta keep up.
Yeah.
They're gonna come.
It's a full trilogy. I mean, you can say the same thing about A New Hope. We had some characters where we wanted to see more of them, and then we got more of them.
Boba.
Like Boba. Then we got Lando in episode 5, then we got to see more of him in episode 6. Mm-hmm. So we still got 2 full movies that are probably going to equal out to about 6 hours, maybe a little bit more, and we're going to get to see more of her. So.
And we can go on this for hours, but we got to talk about the movie.
Yeah.
We got to talk about the beginning to the end. So let's get started to that.
Well, I kind of like what Zora was doing. Like, we have characters. We could point out a couple characters that weren't major characters because we really can't talk about them in the movie. The General Hux, he had more scenes than Phasma. He had more scenes than Phasma, but he did amazing in every scene he was in. His chemistry with Kylo Ren was amazing.
Oh, he was great.
And I can't wait to see more of that. You know what I mean? These are characters
he was part of the plot and everything.
Yeah, but he didn't we didn't see as much of him as the other characters, but he deserves to get some recognition. He was amazing. He did good. The scenes with Snoke, Kylo, and General Hux were great. I want to see more of him in the next episode. Anybody you want to see more of that you feel like didn't get, that shine? You would have seen a little bit more?
For me, it was like Supreme Leader Snoke. Supreme Leader Snoke was so cool in that little hologram form. Like in the comics, he's supposed to be like 20 feet tall. But I like how they made that little illusion that he was just a hologram and he's really not going to be that size in the movie. So to me, that part was dope, and I wanted to see way more of him. And I actually want to see the training sequence between him and Kylo. So I want to see him and Kylo going at it, and I want to see the training just between them two.
Yeah, I think this is. I have no cards that I want to see more of right now because, like in this movie. I think this movie's perfect the way they set each character, so I was happy with it. I have no complaints. We had a lot of new characters, and obviously this movie will be like 4 hours long if we introduce each little one. Mm-hmm. So I was very happy. I have I got everything that I needed from this movie. So
yeah, the movie was great. Let's talk about the big baddie. Let's talk about Mr. Kylo Ren. So maybe I think Louis wants to start this off.
When the movie starts off, we got the the quick introduction, what's going on as far as Luke disappearing. Everyone's looking for him, the good guys, the bad guys, everyone's looking for him. Obviously, when we start off on Jakku, we see Poe Dameron talking to the Elder. He gets the map, he knows where he's going. Mm-hmm. As soon as he's getting ready to leave, they arrive the stormtroopers, and that's when we get our first real good look at the stormtroopers. Finn, right there, Kylo Ren appears, and as far as introductions go for character, I think Poe got, for those first couple of minutes, it was great. You got to see what he was about. You got to see, you got to see you got to see that this guy, he's gonna be important. He got the map. They trusted him. He's the best pilot in the Resistance for a reason. Mm-hmm. So when his ship gets destroyed, Kylo gets there, kills the old guy in a matter of seconds, and then we get the first. I don't remember seeing it in any of the other movies. I've never seen anyone use the Force that way. So right off the bat, it lets you know, this guy's serious. He knows what he's doing.
This guy's pretty powerful.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He's powerful. Not only did he freeze the blaster, he stopped Poe in his tracks. But that was pretty impressive.
He stopped a blast midway. He just stopped it right there, left it there. He had a full conversation with the dude.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a good opening for him. It lets you know that he's the bad guy in this movie.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I like about the introduction for Poe. Like for me, I was more excited about him than you can say a little Kylo, because everyone knew who Kylo was. Obviously, Poe knew who Kylo was. So for him to go ahead and try to blast the guy, try to defend the village, especially he can run away with a robot at the same time.
But he had heart.
Heart. That's what I respect. And as you said, we got to see Kylo's powers, which was amazing. I mean, we never saw one of the Sith try to stop a blast completely, and at the same time talk and be normal while that blast is right there.
Right there, yeah. That to me was so crazy. He just stopped it right there. It was frozen right there between everybody. Everybody's like, "Oh, what's going on?" This guy's pretty strong. And then he had a full conversation with one of his stormtroopers, and that scene was just amazing. Like we said, if you haven't seen the movie, you have to see it. Just for Kylo Ren himself. Kylo Ren is a monster.
Yeah, he is.
He's a monster character.
Character.
Definitely not one-dimensional. Definitely has a whole bunch of layers to him. More that you explore. As the movie goes on, you feel like you probably learn more about him in this one movie than you've learned about any other character in past movies.
Exactly. And that scene with Finn, I mean, when Kylo was walking away, he sensed a doubtness.
Exactly, right?
Wow, the blast is still there. For me, that was amazing. I was like, what? Yeah, it was sick.
It's basically like you got to see so much of his power without even really seeing
more of the Force.
More of the Force. No one has used the Force that way until now. But as the movie, so after that, we get the scene where he says, "Let's take Poe." Yes. They take him onto the ship. Then we're left with Finn. That's basically where we meet Finn when they get back on the ship. And he removes his helmet, which is obviously a no-no in Stormtrooper 101.
We basically get a remorseful Stormtrooper. He does not want to go into battle. He saw one of his brethren fall in battle. He went like this to him and pretty much touched his Stormtrooper helmet, and it snapped him out of his programming. And he did not want to be in that battle. That's how we get introduced to Finn. He's being suffocated by this war that's going on. He doesn't want to kill these villagers. And I believe for him it was just too much. He took off his helmet just to get a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, he looked panicked when he was back on the ship.
Yeah, man.
He was definitely panicking.
And he was like, oh man, it was like a real surreal moment in the movie. And that part was pretty great. So he takes off his helmet. We get introduced to Phasma. And then for me, that's for me when it takes we get introduced to Phasma, but I don't really like Phasma because Phasma to me was like a key character, portrayed by the marketing team as a key character, and then it's in the movies she's pretty much in the movie she's pretty much just a throwaway character. She's in there for 3 scenes.
For now,
she's in there for 3 scenes, and then we just don't see her ever again. That's pretty much it.
I believe after that scene, then we get to
the interrogation.
Yeah, we get to the interrogation. You see even more of Kylo Ren's powers, which hasn't been used. Also, I don't recall anyone ever using the Force that way. I don't know if he was squeezing his brain, torturing him on the inside, or what he was doing.
He got answers in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, most likely his memory, muscle memory, trying to get in there,
So whatever he was doing, it's new to us. We haven't seen anyone
We haven't
do
seen
that.
a power like that before. He was squeezing his brain, or something was going on between the force, and he went like, "Oh, you're gonna tell me what's going on."
So from there, he finds out where the map is, and then that's where I believe we first see Ray scavenging one of the ships from 30 years ago, a battle that happened.
Yes.
So Jose, you remember?
Well, Ray was introduced as a scavenger, someone that is obviously alone in a planet, trying to survive. She's very, agile, very smart, getting, obviously she's getting parts somehow. We don't know what is it for, but we get into a character where we say, wow, like she's like in the middle of nowhere. We already know that she's brave. We already know that she has the ability to, survive, to be out there alone without, the need help of anybody. So she's very independent, and we liked her off the bat right away.
Yeah, great character introductions again for everybody. All the new cast, they got really. When you first see them, you get a real good sense of where they are and where they're going in future films. At least for me. So. You see, she gets the parts. It's for rations. She's trying to get food to survive. After that, you see where she lives. You see a couple of little things that remind you of past Star Wars movies. The ship from 30 years ago, the battle. When she goes home, she puts on the fighter helmet from the Rebels because there's no Rebels in this one. It's the Resistance. It gets kind of confusing, but you gotta
keep up with it.
Yeah, you gotta keep up with it. There's no more Rebels. You see her using an old Rebel helmet. It's kind of like a good nod to the last trilogy.
Definitely. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people are saying that is like the whole movie. I don't know where I like New Hope, but when you get to see Rey by herself, we never got that with a main character back in the previous movies.
Yeah, exactly.
So that was one thing that was a big deal. Yeah. She didn't have help. That's
she was all alone. Even Luke had his aunt and uncle. You know what I mean? Definitely. So you get to see more of what you said, that she's independent. She's an independent character. Yep. You see her struggling for food. She's kind of getting cheapskated by the food. She gets poor rations for what she brings. But still, it was a good introduction to her character as well. Definitely keeps you intrigued to see where she's going and how she'll grow. Then I believe we go back to the base, and that's where Finn comes up with his plan where it's time to escape. He was sent back by Phasma to get evaluated for not killing the villagers in the first scene of the movie.
For taking his helmet off.
And for taking his helmet off. So right off the bat, we know there's no more clone troopers, so that's it. The clones are done. What the First Order does is they take children, they take them away from their families, they reprogram them mentally. We don't know what the training program looks like. They really didn't get into it.
Oh, I want to see that so bad.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see that. We still, like we said,
or even the assessments of the soldiers, like when Finn, how she did it,
Yeah, that would have been good to see.
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, it wasn't nothing
serious.
Maybe
the DVDs, the Blu-rays, will get it a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
the director's cut, bro. Yeah. That's what I'm
saying. It wasn't nothing too bad because they let him right out after his assessment. As soon as he got assessed, I guess that's when he realized, I'm in trouble. That's when he goes to rescue Poe. They come up with the plan to escape the base. They get in the TIE fighter, and then we get a little bit of comic relief, which is good because even the original Star Wars movies, they had comedy. Something that was lacking in the prequels, as I think most people can agree.
Everybody talked like this in the prequels, so yeah, it was pretty bad. Prequels, not this new movie. So yeah, I think Finn is definitely a great character. Especially who else? We got introduced to BB-8. What an amazing little robot. We didn't think we were gonna get like such an emotional tie to that little character, but BB-8 and the dialogue between BB-8 and Finn was pretty much amazing. When he goes like that with thumbs up, dude, to me that was amazing. I definitely want to see BB-8 and R2-D2 going forward, and C-3PO. See what their interactions are going to be like in the future.
Yeah. what happened. So the guy, they escape the base. They get hit. They land on Jakku again. I think they.
Everyone's going back to Jakku.
Everyone's going back to Jakku.
I like how
Jakku is the center place, pretty much of the whole universe.
Yeah, exactly. And I like how obviously they crash landed. We off the bat I like the character Poe, so I got a little worried there.
Poe, I love the fact. Sorry to cut you off. When Finn asked him, "Can you drive? Can you use a TIE fighter?" and he said, "I can fly anything."
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when we were learning about the character, one of the first things they said is he's the greatest pilot in the universe, and it's good to see that he believes that. He's confident in his ability to get behind any steering wheel, drive any type of machine. Doesn't matter if it's from the Resistance, from the First Order. It doesn't matter. You put him anywhere, he'll drive it, and it'll be amazing. And he delivered.
He definitely delivered.
Yeah.
That's why when he disappeared, we didn't know what was going on or how he got back to the Resistance or anything like that. But you know what? That was a little. There's a fan, freak out.
There's a little.
Right there.
I didn't even want to.
Here and there.
I didn't even want to tell Jose when we were watching the movie and that happened, that he disappeared. I felt like telling Jose, like, yo, relax. In the trailer, we see him high-fiving Finn later on.
I didn't remember that.
I knew he was too focused. I didn't want to cut him off, but I knew we would see more of Poe. After the crash, when they land on Jakku, that's when we get when Finn and Rey finally meet. Finn, Rey, and BB-8, they finally meet on Jakku.
They meet in the best way possible.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
Yeah, exactly. Like BB-8 just straight goes, he's a bad guy, he stole my master's jacket, and she
charges at him.
She showed no fear.
Yes.
That's another thing. You see, like it shows you again, she's not afraid. Yeah. She had no idea who Finn was, what Finn was bringing to the table,
what he's capable
of. She charged him head on. Just because BB-8 said thief, that's my master's coat.
Yep.
Which also shows a lot for BB-8, his loyalty to Poe, that he recognized that coat right off the bat. So the fact that Rey charges at Finn, not knowing what he's capable of, lets you know, like, this girl's for real. She's pure-hearted. Yeah, she's a badass, and she knows what's right.
Yeah.
So when they first meet, you got a little bit more comedy here and there. You don't get to enjoy it much because then the stormtroopers showed up looking for the white and orange droid, the BB unit. That's one of a kind, as Poe Dameron states.
Yeah, exactly. And I like the whole pace. Like, we didn't get, when they first met, they weren't that little like filler of getting to know each other. No, it was right away. Kylo found out he escaped. He freaked out. We got to see like his temper. He loses control. Everyone fears him.
Man.
And right off the bat, they're going after them. So you get an action scene. It's amazing. It's amazing pace. You feel like there's no filler in this movie. Everything is making sense.
Everything means something in the movie.
Yes.
Even the parts where you're like, I don't know about that. I don't know how I feel about that. Later on, you'll be like, you know what? Yeah, that made perfect sense.
Yes.
The fact that they went that route. So also on Jakku, whatever. As they're running away from the stormtroopers, they're going to a ship. Finn asks, why don't we go to the ship over here? Rey says, no, that ship's a piece of trash. Let's go to this one. This one's better. And then we go right ahead. The ship they're going to gets exploded. All right, you know what? Maybe we could use the piece of trash ship.
Yeah.
As soon as the camera turns, what do we see just lying there in the desert?
The Millennium Falcon!
The Millennium Falcon.
Which they don't even know that.
Yeah, they didn't even know that it was the Millennium Falcon. Yeah. But,
what we like about this part is that we think, like, from the trailers and everything, you think it's Han Solo that first, was...
Like he parked it there or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but, like, in the trailer, making it seem like he's the one doing all the maneuvers.
All the piloting and stuff.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes.
That was very surprising for me.
Very deceptive.
Yeah, very deceptive.
Very deceptive trailer.
How does she learn how to fly?
I don't know. We'll figure that out. We'll figure that out.
We're going to get into that right now.
But, so they go ahead, they board the Millennium Falcon. Obviously, they still kind of iffy on the controls because it doesn't take off right away. They escape the two TIE fighters. Yeah, they bump into a couple of things. They escape the two TIE fighters and then they go into space. What happens when they get